everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making this awesome, easy peasy cup cozy. It is called Fallen Leaves Cup Cozy, and the written pattern can be found on my website, YARNutopia.com. This pattern is so simple. We are working with slip stitches, single crochets, half double crochets, double crochets, and treble crochets. And it's a really awesome pattern that's just really quick and easy for a mug. You can see here I made the two leaf appliques, and then we're making this backing first, and then we're adding a button and a loop to wrap around a cup. You can sew the ends if you wanted and just eliminate this button, but I just absolutely adore these wooden buttons. I found, or you can get wooden buttons like this on Etsy. There's a shop called Would Be Fancy. You can check that out. I'll link it in the description of this video and also on my blog, so you can get cute buttons like this, wooden buttons and wooden goods. There's also crochet hooks on there too, so make sure you check that out. And also you can check out the links in the description of this video for the blog, YARNutopia.com. You can also get the link to my Facebook and Instagram. I would really appreciate it if you would, maybe if you make this project, share a photo. I absolutely would love to see what color leaves you have. If you, do the whole, if you sew this all closed, or if you use a button, or what you make yours looking like. So I would really like that. And if you share a photo on Instagram, be sure to hashtag YARNutopia so I can see your work. I have a mug here that I wanted to show you how this works. We are going to put it around here and then button this under the handle. So that's for a regular mug. Let me get it on there. Okay, just like that. And that's what it looks like. All lovely. In this project today, we are making this leaf into a pocket. So you can add a little, gift card to a coffee shop. You can add cash for a cup of coffee, or you can add all kinds of different things. A tea bag would fit in there too, or even a little packet of sugar for those who like sugar in their coffee. So just all kinds of stuff can fit in this pocket, just as a little gift or a token of appreciation for someone this holiday season. I encourage everybody to do some giving this season, and this is just a quick and easy project for those people in your life that you want to just tell them how much you appreciate them. This would be great for, a close friend, or a teacher, or a neighbor, or someone who is just absolutely obsessed with coffee or hot cocoa or tea. So obviously my cup is empty, but if you share a photo of this, let me know what's in your cup. I would like to see all the answers I get on the Facebook and on the Instagram as well. So that is the cup cozy. The project supplies we are going to use today are Red Heart Super Saver yarns. So this is a 10 ply size 4 worsted weight medium yarn, and I have a label here. This is more of a recent label. This one on my white here is kind of vintage yarn, but this one is a newer label. This is Red Heart Super Saver yarn. You can see it's a worsted weight size 4 medium yarn. So you can use any worsted weight, any double knitting, any cotton yarn, anything really. It's a really fast, easy project. The skeins of yarns, though, come in 364 yards. These are 7-ounce balls, so you're not going to need that much at all. These scraps here, I'm just using small amounts of this type of yarn. This specific color right here is called Flamingo, and then this golden color here is actually called Gold. And then I'm using, for my background, this white color. It's an off-white. It's called, what's on this? Soft White. So that is the name of this yarn, but you can use any colors you want for this project. And this yarn is an acrylic yarn, so you can use any acrylic yarn that you would like, but this is just the label that I wanted to show you so that you can use something similar, or if you wanted to get the same exact, you can totally do that. I'm going to demonstrate this with a G size hook, G6 hook actually. It's a 4.25 millimeter hook. I suggest you to use the same. If you do not have the same hook, you can use an H hook, which is 5 millimeters, or even go up to an I hook, which is 5.5 millimeters. So this pattern is pretty easy, and if you use a bigger hook, just for those of you who have tighter tension, you can totally do that. And this basically goes off of measurements. As long as it fits around your cup, you're totally good. You're also going to need a scissors and a yarn needle. I'm using 2 different sizes because my holes in my buttons are just smaller. But some yarn needles and some scissors just to cut your yarn, sew in your ends, and also sew on these appliques to the cup cozy. So those are a lot of the frequently asked questions I get. Also here I have another mug, one of these like travel mugs. It would totally fit around this too. Even if you don't sew this closed and you do have the button, whoopsie, you can put the button on and have a nice cup like this too. One of those travel mug cups. So this is a nice project for one of these as well. So, but you can use it for this type of mug or a regular coffee mug. So it's really versatile. And for those of you, you can give a gift of a mug like this. Even if you had a mug with a cover on it, you can put some hot cocoa inside of there and give it as a gift. It's just a really cute gift idea. So those are some of the things that you can use this for, but I hope you enjoy this. Before we start though, I do have to mention, like I said earlier, there are links in the description of this video. So there is a link to the shop where you can get this button. There's also a link to the Facebook and Instagram. So make sure that you share your photos, and also make sure to check out the links to the written patterns, share your photos, all that good stuff. And if you share a photo, I do have to mention, make sure you hashtag YARNutopia. I may have said that already, so I'm just going to babble on and keep doing this. So let's just get started and make this awesome cup cozy, fallen leaves cup cozy. Let's start out with the background color of your cup cozy. I'm choosing this soft white, and we're going to make a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold that down and then pull that through and pull tight. And we're going to insert our hook into that loop we made like this. And now we are going to chain 12. So yarn over and pull through 1. Yarn over and pull through 2. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you want to make this bigger or smaller, you just chain an even number. So any even number will work with this pattern. Now in the second chain from the hook, we are going to put a half double crochet. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as anything. So count 1 and 2 right in this chain. But what I'm actually going to do is, you can see our chains looking like this. We're actually going to turn it toward us just like that, so you can see this back ridge here, these back ridges. We're going to work into those back ridges. So like I said, second chain from the hook, 1 and 2, we're going to yarn over, go into that chain in the back ridge. Okay, so you can see the 2 loops right there, 1 and 2, and then this one on top there. So then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 of the loops on your hook. Okay, that's a half double crochet. Now we are going to slip stitch into the next chain. So go into there, no yarning over or anything, just go into that chain, then yarn over and pull it through, and pull through that loop on your hook. But we're not going to pull too tight, okay, because we're going to be working into the stitch, into that slip stitch in the next row, okay? So don't pull your slip stitches too tight in this project. In this next chain, we're going to half double crochet. So yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 of the loops on your hook. Okay, and we're just going to repeat that all the way across now. So slip stitch into the next chain, so go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through, but don't pull too tight. And then half double crochet into the next chain. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, then slip stitch into the next, and then half double crochet into the next. Then slip stitch in the next, half double crochet in the next, slip stitch in the next, and you'll end this row with a half double crochet. If you start with a half double crochet, you're going to end with a half double crochet. Going on to row 2 right away, we're going to chain up 1. We're going to turn our work around just like this, flip it around. And now in this first stitch right here, we're going to slip stitch. So you can kind of pull up your loop just a little bit here. We're going to go into this very first stitch, then yarn over and pull through and pull through. Okay. Now in the half double crochets, we're putting a slip stitch, and in the slip stitches, we're putting half double crochets. So yarn over, go into this next stitch right here, which is the slip stitch from the previous row. Yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And we're alternating those 2 stitches then for row 2. So slip stitch into this half double crochet. Remember not to pull too tight. And then half double crochet into this slip stitch right here. Then slip stitch into the next stitch, and then half double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, and we're just repeating this across. So again, if you start with a slip stitch, you end this row with a slip stitch. The next row is going to start with a half double crochet, so it will end with a half double crochet. So slip stitch into this last stitch here, just like that. So now going on to row 3, we're going to chain up 1 and turn our work. And we're going to half double crochet into the first stitch right here. Okay, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. Okay, and you can get the written pattern, you know, this is just a repeat pattern. So we're just repeating rows 2 and 3 all the way up until we finish row 28, or however big you need to make this. I'm gonna do 28 rows, but you can make as many rows as you want. We're just alternating these 2 rows. So let's see here, your even numbered rows are going to start with a slip stitch and end with a slip stitch. Your odd number rows are going to start with a half double crochet and end with a half double crochet like this. Okay, so then chain up 1, turn your work, and just repeat. So like I said though, the written pattern is available on my website, so you can follow along with that. Just repeat these 2 rows. It'll give a nice little design here. So I'm gonna just repeat that until mine is long enough, and then I'll meet you back up and we'll go on to the next step together. All right, welcome back. I ended on row 28 here, so I'm going to kind of pull this up here like this so you can see what it looks like. This is what your piece should look like, something like this. Looks fabulous. You know, you could fasten off here and just have a plain cup cozy, just a nice plain design, just having just this design, but I want to add leaves to this and fasten this off. So when you get to this point, before you fasten off, grab the cup that you're going to be using if you have one. This is a standard size cup, so we're going to wrap this all the way around here. Okay, and you can see that it does stretch a lot. Okay, so it is going to close nice and tightly. Sorry, there's writing on there. We're going to close this nice and tightly, and it will look great on it all the way around. Okay, so you don't want it to be too loose, you don't want it to fall off, you want it to stretch around it. Okay, so at this point I am going to fasten off. So to fasten off, we're going to just chain 1, cut your yarn long because we will be sewing this seam closed, okay, with this long strand. So cut your yarn long and then pull it all the way through that chain that you just made, just like that. Okay, and then pull that tight. I'm not going to sew this closed yet. I'm going to make the leaves, and we're going to sew the leaves on here to make the pretty design. Sorry, this is upside down. And then we're going to add the leaves, and then when everything is all said and done, we're going to sew this closed. It's just going to be easier if we work with a flat piece rather than trying to sew through a closed piece like this all the way around. So I'm going to work it flat and then we'll sew that together. So we have this piece done. So for the leaf part, we are going to start out by making a slip knot, just like so, like I showed you in the beginning of this video, and insert your hook in there. And for the leaves, now we are going to chain 9, so yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And now, just like in the beginning part of this video, I was telling you we are working through the back ridges here. We're going to work through the back ridges of this chain because we are also going to turn this around and work on the opposite side. And it's just going to be a lot easier. So in the second chain from the hook, we are going to slip stitch. So the loop on the hook doesn't count. So count 1 and 2 right in that chain right here. We're going to go in, and then yarn over and pull through and pull through. Okay, that's our slip stitch. We're going to single crochet into the next stitch, or the next chain here. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. We are also going to single crochet into the next chain. So go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. We are going to half double crochet into the next chain. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We're also going to half double crochet in the next chain, so yarn over, go into this next chain here, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Now we're going to double crochet into the next chain, so yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. This next chain gets a treble crochet, so yarn over twice and go in, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now the last chain right here is going to get 10 treble crochets all in there. So yarn over twice for a treble crochet, go into that last chain. Okay, we're putting 10 whole stitches in here. So go in, to the back ridge, there we go, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that's 1. We have to make 9 more, all in that same chain. Okay, and you can see now I'm turning this sort of like this and we're going to be working on this opposite end here after we make all 10 of these treble crochets in this one chain. So let's see here, that's 3, this is 4, here's 5, here's 6, here's 7, 8, 9, and our last one here is 10. Alright, so you can see I turned this all the way around here. Now we're going to work on this side here. We are not going to work any more stitches in this chain here. You can see this chain right here is the next one, so we are going to yarn over twice and put a treble crochet into that. It looks like a stitch right after where our slip knot is. You can see it right there. Going in, yarning over and pulling through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then we're going to double crochet in the next, so yarn over once, go into the next, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then in the next 2 of these stitches, we are going to be putting a half double crochet. So you have to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So in those next 2 stitches. These next 2 stitches get a single crochet each, so go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and the next stitch, single crochet. And then there's that last one right here, you can barely notice it, go in, we're going to do a slip stitch, so yarn over, pull through, and through. Okay, so this was round 1 of our leaf. Looks like this. Looks awesome. Now, going on to the next round, we are going to slip stitch into this first stitch here. Okay, so right in that first slip stitch, you can see, not back here in this little chain. That doesn't count as anything. So go into this stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, and into this single crochet here. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. Now we're going to chain 2 for our Pico here, 1 and 2, and then slip stitch back into that same stitch. So go down into it, yarn over, pull through, and through. Then slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, pull through and through, and the next stitch. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And then we're going to do our Pico. So chain 2, 1, 2, and go back in for a slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through, and through. Then slip stitch into the next stitch and the next stitch, so the next 2 stitches, and then make your Pico. So chain 2, slip stitch back into that same stitch, then slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, and we're just repeating this until we have 5 of these little Picos on this side. So here's my last one right here. So slip stitch in the next 2, then chain 2, slip stitch back into that same one. Now at the bottom here, we're going to slip stitch in these next 3 stitches here. So go in to this next one, slip stitch, next one, slip stitch, and then this next one, slip stitch. And now we're going to make our stem of our leaf. So we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. Just like I showed you in the beginning here of this leaf, we're going to go into the second chain in the back ridge there, yarn over, pull through, and through. Next chain, slip stitch, next chain, slip stitch, and this last chain, slip stitch. And then we're going to slip stitch back into that same stitch right here. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And there's your stem. And now we're going to slip stitch into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to make our Pico. So we're going to do it on this side as well. So chain 2, slip stitch back into that same stitch, then slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, and then chain 2 and slip stitch back into that same stitch, slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, and then chain 2, 1, 2, slip stitch back into that same stitch, slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, and then chain 2, slip stitch back into that same stitch. And now we are going to slip stitch into this stitch right here, into the next stitch, whoopsie, hang on, there we go, slip stitch in that stitch, slip stitch into this stitch right here, okay, and then you can see here's a slip stitch right here at the top, at the very tip, okay, of our leaf. We're going to slip stitch in there, and then we're going to chain 2, and then slip stitch back into it, okay. And then to fasten this off, we're going to chain 1. We're going to cut our yarn kind of long because we'll be using that for sewing. And then we're going to continue to pull that all the way through. And then pull that really tight so that secures it. So there is your leaf. So now you can rewind this if you need to, or follow along with the written pattern to make another leaf, because we are going to put 2 leaves on our cup cozy. So this looks really cute with those little picos. You can kind of shape it. If you want to, you could block this into the shape you want it to, but when you sew it down, it's not going to make a difference if you block it or not. So I'm just going to make another one, and then I'll meet you up when I have my second leaf made, and we will sew these to our cup cozy. Alright, I just made my other leaf here, and we have our cup cozy here. So what we're going to do is position these how we want them on our cup cozy. So we want them just like this. Okay, I'm going to curl my stem in on this one, and then I'm going to put this one kind of upside down diagonally, and then I'm going to pull my stem down and kind of have them touching. So you want to position it how you want it to go. You could pin this down and then it would help you with sewing, but this is kind of a rough little draft here of what we're going to do. So now I'm going to just kind of eyeball it where you want it to go. We're going to go about right here, and then I'm going to remove one. We're going to hold this other one here. Let me grab my yarn needle. We're going to yarn the needle here, and we're going to sew this leaf onto our cup cozy here. So we're going to go in to the cup cozy part, the background here, and then we're just going to come back out. Okay. Also, this piece, you know what? I think I want to make a pocket. I just, thought of this. We could make a pocket here for like a cup or a thing of tea, a tea bag, or some, a gift card or something. So I'm not going to actually go across here. If you wanted to no pocket, you can just simply sew across here, but I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to go around the bottom part instead. So I'm just going to go back around here, and that's just a little idea. If you wanted to have a little pocket, you can put some cash for a cup of coffee, or you can put, like I said, a tea bag, or a little note of appreciation or something to whomever you're going to give this to. Or, like I said, you don't have to put a pocket. You can just sew all the way around this piece and not have a pocket, and just have a cute little leaf. So I'm going to keep it as a pocket, though. I'm just going to sew across the bottom here, just like this, in and out, all the way around. Okay, and then I'm going to position the other leaf on here as well where I want it, and then once I have both of these on, I will show you exactly what I'm going to do next. Alright, when you finish sewing on your leaves, I just wanted to show you how I fasten this off. So I go underneath a few of the stitches, and then I put my thumb in that loop, and then come back around and go in and make a little knot and pull tight, okay? And then I make a few of those just to secure that, okay? So going back around and pulling tight. And then we can just sew in this end underneath some of these stitches here, just to hide them. Okay, making sure you can't see them in the front either. Looks good. Okay, and then you can cut your yarn, extra yarn. So this is what it should look like here. And you can see here I made that pocket for that little tea bag or something, and this one doesn't have a pocket, it's just all sewn on nicely. So this is what it should look like now. Now I know I may have mentioned that we are going to sew this closed. You can sew this closed and have a nice little cup cozy for one of those mugs that don't have a handle, but then I was like, well, maybe I want to use it on one that does have a handle, like a mug. So I think that I'm not gonna sew this closed. If you want to, you can sew this closed, just whip stitch it and then tie it off and just be done with your cute little mug cozy or cup cozy. But what I'm gonna do is sew in these ends here real quick, just yarning my needle, going underneath these stitches. Okay, and then I'm going to actually, let me stretch that out there, that's hidden enough, cut that. And what we're going to actually do is figure out which side, I'm going to add a button to this. So I think I'm going to put the button on this side here, okay? And then I need to put a loop on this side here to attach to that button. So I have this little tiny button here. I'm going to sew that right onto there. So what I'm actually going to do is grab the same color yarn that I had for my background, my main color. I'm going to yarn a small needle here. Let me see if I'll be able to do that. Okay. If your yarn is too thick, you can use just split the yarn or use thread or something. But I'm going to go in from the back of this into the button. And I'm going to sew this on to this side, right in the center. Okay, just like that. And you know, I found this, well, I got this actually, you can get these buttons on Etsy, these wooden buttons. The shop is called Wood Be Fancy, that's W-O-O-D, Wood Be Fancy. And there are buttons on there and, you know, crochet hook, candles, and all kinds of cool wooden pieces. So make sure you check out the links in the description of this video. I'll also have a link to that shop on my blog so you can find out where to get buttons that look like this, because this is so cool. Very rustic and cabiny, so I really like that. It's very cozy warm. So I just tied that in a knot there, and now I'm going to grab my bigger yarn needle so I can sew in these ends. That's all I have to do on this side. But then, like I said, on the other side I have to make a loop. So I'm gonna crochet a chain actually around there. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. I'm just gonna sew in this end here, just around the button, just to hide this, and just to know that that is secure and good. So we can cut that. Okay, so there's what that looks like. Okay, so now on this side, let me cut this shorter and sew in this end. Sorry, all this weird sewing in of ends happens, you know, it's quite tedious when those things happen, but we'll get to the good part in a second. I'm just gonna, we're almost done. This project is so quick and easy. Okay, so now grab your crochet hook, start in any stitch, really basically just in the middle here. Start in any stitch. I'm gonna grab my white yarn here, if I can find the end. Oh my goodness, where is the end of my yarn? Here's an end of your yarn. Let's hook that on the hook, like this. And then we're going to chain an amount, probably I would say 8 stitches, 1, 2, or 8 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then hook this on this side. Yeah, that should fit. We're going to slip stitch in the very next stitch right here, so yarn over, pull through and through, and then to fasten that off, we're going to chain 1, cut that yarn, pull it through, and pull tight. Now we're going to check and see if it fits. So I'm going to fold this over and this over, make sure it fits around the button, and it does. So that looks good. So now we can undo that and sew in these ends, and then we'll be finished with this awesome cup cozy. That was so simple. We just have to sew in a few of these ends, and that will be secure. Now on this cup cozy, if you decided to use that button and make that loop, that's awesome. You can use that on then a mug with a handle, or you can use it on a cup, like a coffee cup from a coffee shop or something, like on one of those to-go cups, one of those travel mug cups. So you can use it on basically anything. If you sewed the edges closed, then you would only be able to slide it onto a cup, like a travel mug cup. So there it is, which is really nice, because then if you can add this to a regular mug, that'd be kind of cute. You can give a mug as a gift and put a little gift card to a coffee shop, or some cash for a cup of coffee, or I don't know, a little tea bag or something, specialty teas or something. So there's that. So here's a mug, and let's see if that fits around here. We're going to then button this underneath the handle, like that. Okay. And there it is. Awesome! That looks so cool! Thank you guys so much for watching and learning how to make this super simple Fallen Leaves cup cozy. I absolutely love it, and that pocket is just super clever for those of you who want to give a small gift away this holiday season, or just give somebody you know, a little token of appreciation. I think that anybody who is a coffee or tea lover, or even a little hot cocoa lover or something, it could be a really nice gift for a mug, and then this cup cozy around it, and then it just gives a personal touch when you hand make gifts. So I think handmade gifts are the best. So just keep that in mind, or you can just keep it for yourself. I'm probably going to keep this one for myself, but I'll make a few for others. So thanks again for watching. If you make this, make sure to share a photo on Facebook, on Instagram. Let me know what's in your cup and what you're drinking today, and also share your photos on the Facebook and follow me on Snapchat. I really appreciate hanging out with you today. We will see you next time. Happy hooking!